There's a scent, subtle, earthy, comforting, the kind that wraps around you like a familiar shawl, soft and worn from years of trust. It's the scent of turmeric. In many kitchens, it sits quietly on the spice rack, a humble companion to meals, a whisper of tradition. But for older adults, turmeric has become more than just flavor. It's a symbol of hope. Hope for aching joints, for a mind that sometimes forgets the name of an old song, for a body that doesn't move quite like it used to when the wind changes. We trust it, this golden powder. We stir it into warm milk at night. We sprinkle it into breakfast, smoothies, teas. We believe, because we've heard it heals. But what if it's not healing? What if, despite your faithful rituals, the pain lingers? What if you still feel foggy, bloated, drained? What if, without knowing it, you're combining turmeric with something that quietly works against it and against you? Have you ever wondered, could the very thing I trust to help me actually be the thing holding me back? We live in a world where we assume that more is better, that healthy things combined must lead to better health. But nature doesn't always work that way. Some things cancel each other out. Some combinations create hidden stress on your gut, your blood, your energy. Turmeric isn't the villain, but maybe you've never truly met its true nature. Because behind that golden glow is a compound that's sensitive, reactive, and powerful, but only when treated right. Put it in the wrong company and it loses its magic. Or worse, it begins to burden the very body you're trying so hard to protect. And the most troubling part? Most people never even notice. You see, the danger isn't always loud. It doesn't always knock. Sometimes it seeps in, soft as steam rising from your morning cup, quiet as a breath between thoughts. And sometimes it begins with something as innocent as breakfast. There was a man named Walter, 72, retired school teacher, a quiet thinker who still woke up before the sun. Every morning he made himself a bowl of warm oats. He added cinnamon, chia seeds, flax, and lately, a generous scoop of turmeric. Golden oats, he called it. He believed he was doing everything right, but then came the fatigue, the way his steps grew slower, the strange chill that lingered even on warm days. His doctor ran some blood work and said something unexpected. Your iron levels are low. Walter was confused. He wasn't skipping meals. He ate his greens, his lentils, even took an iron supplement. So what went wrong? Here's the truth most people don't know. Turmeric, for all its benefits, can quietly block the absorption of iron, especially the kind found in plants and supplements. The active compound in turmeric, curcumin, binds with iron in the gut, forming a complex the body struggles to break apart. Instead of absorbing it, the iron is simply passed through. This isn't some fringe idea. It's been shown in peer-reviewed studies. Scientists have long known that curcumin chelates iron, reducing its bioavailability. And for older adults whose nutrient absorption is already weakened by age, this quiet battle can have real consequences. Because iron isn't just a mineral, it's the lifeblood of your energy. It carries oxygen through every cell in your body. Without enough of it, your brain slows, your immunity falters, your heart works harder. You don't just feel tired, you feel diminished. And here's where it gets personal. The foods we often combine with turmeric, like fortified cereals, leafy greens, even iron supplements, are rich in iron. So when we think we're layering health upon health, we might actually be canceling both out. Walter didn't need to give up turmeric. He just needed to change when he used it. His doctor recommended separating his turmeric latte and his iron intake by at least 3 hours. Within a month, the fog began to lift. His energy returned, not because of more pills, but because of timing, because of awareness. Let that sink in. Sometimes it's not what you eat, but when and with what you eat it. This is the age when your body doesn't have the same buffers it once did. What you could get away with at 40 or even 60 becomes a tipping point at 70 or 80. Deficiencies whisper now, but their echoes can become loud. And here's the question that lingers. If something as small as turmeric can quietly block a mineral essential to your survival, what else could it be doing? We're only just beginning to uncover the delicate chemistry between food and function in the aging body. And if you're still listening, still curious, good, because this story isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. Walter's story may have ended in quiet relief, but for many others, the fog doesn't lift. It lingers. The fatigue persists. The pain remains. And the answer may be hiding in a ritual that feels as comforting as it is harmful. Let's talk about Barbara. She's 81, graceful in a way that only decades of living can teach. Every night before bed, she'd wrap her hands around a warm mug, a blend of turmeric and milk, gently simmered with honey. A bedtime tradition passed down from her mother. A moment of peace, a promise of healing, but nights grew restless. Her knees still ached. Her mornings were stiff, slow, reluctant. The turmeric wasn't working. And here lies a cruel irony. The very comfort she turned to for relief was quietly disarming the medicine she hoped to receive. You see, dairy, particularly cow's milk, cheese, and cream, contains a protein called casein. This isn't just any protein. Casein has a unique ability to bind with curcumin, the active compound in turmeric. And when it does, it wraps itself around the curcumin like a cage. The body can't break through it. The turmeric passes through, unused, wasted, neutralized before it ever gets the chance to help. The science here isn't speculation. It's measurable. Multiple studies have shown a reduction in curcumin's bioavailability when consumed with dairy proteins. And for older adults whose digestive enzymes have declined, whose absorption is slower and more fragile, this barrier can mean the difference between healing and stagnation. Barbara had been nurturing her body, but nurturing it in the wrong direction. And like many of us, she blamed herself. Maybe it's just age, she thought. Maybe this is just what getting older feels like. But aging is not an illness, and pain is not an inevitability. Sometimes the problem isn't your body, it's the way we're feeding it without understanding what we're asking it to process. When Barbara spoke with her nutrition coach, something remarkable happened. She made a small shift. She swapped the cow's milk for almond milk, unsweetened, without additives, and added just a pinch of black pepper, which is known to boost curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. That night, the taste was different. Not worse, just unfamiliar. But within 2 weeks, she noticed a change. Less swelling in the morning, fewer interruptions in the night, more ease in standing, more comfort in sitting still. And it all began with a single question. What if the thing you trust most is quietly turning away the help you need? Because turmeric isn't weak. It isn't ineffective, but it's particular. It needs the right conditions to thrive. And your body deserves the kind of healing that comes from thoughtful care, not blind routine. There's a reason our ancestors treated healing as an art. They observed, they experimented, they listened. And now more than ever, we must do the same. Because your body is whispering through aches, through digestion, through sleep. And if you ignore it, the whisper might become a warning. There's a peculiar kind of betrayal that comes not from enemies, but from friends dressed in sweetness. We tend to trust what tastes fresh. We welcome the tang of an orange at sunrise, the brightness of pineapple on the tongue, the zip of tomato in a homemade soup. These flavors carry the illusion of health, vibrant, alive, cleansing. And for many older adults trying to nourish their bodies, adding turmeric into that picture seems only natural. A smoothie here, a juice there. a sprinkle of golden powder to seal the goodness. But what if that burst of citrus is burning more than it heals? Dennis, 74, widowed, once a jazz musician with a soul as rich as his trumpet's tone, had found comfort in his morning routine. He blended bananas, berries, orange juice, a handful of spinach, and a full teaspoon of turmeric every morning. He was doing everything right, or so he thought. But slowly something began to shift. His mornings were no longer refreshing. His gut, once reliable, turned temperamental. There was a tightness in his stomach, a subtle sourness that crept in like a dissonant note at the end of a favorite song. His acid reflux worsened. Sleep grew erratic. His energy dropped. And still, he blamed age. But age was not the culprit. Acidity was. You see, when turmeric enters an overly acidic environment, such as the one created by citrus fruits, tomatoes, or vinegar-rich foods, the structure of curcumin destabilizes. It begins to degrade long before the body can absorb it. Instead of calming inflammation, it may irritate the stomach lining. Instead of boosting immunity, it may trigger discomfort. And the very healing one seeks becomes muted, sometimes even reversed. This isn't just about pH levels and digestive enzymes. It's about the fragile dance between what you eat and how your body interprets it, especially in later life, when the lining of the gut may already be thinner, more vulnerable, more reactive. For Dennis, it took a consultation with a dietitian to uncover the hidden conflict. The recommendation was simple: separate the turmeric. Enjoy the fruits, but not at the same time. Let the smoothie be the sunrise, and let the turmeric come with lunch. Give each moment its rightful place, its rightful power. And what happened next wasn't miraculous. It was steady, honest, real. His stomach calmed, his morning softened, the bitterness faded, and with it, the mystery of what had gone wrong. Because sometimes the habits that feel right, feel bright, are only half the truth. The other half lives in the details, in timing, in awareness, in listening not only to the advice on labels or the stories we've told ourselves, but to the subtle language of the body. That burning you ignore, that heaviness after a healthy breakfast, that could be your body gently asking you to pay attention, not to stop nourishing it, but to do so more wisely. Turmeric isn't meant to fight with your food, it's meant to work with it. But like all allies, it needs peace, not conflict, to show its strength. And sometimes the quietest changes bring the loudest healing. So now, you know, not just the glowing headlines of turmeric's healing powers, but the shadows too, the quiet complications, the whispered warnings that your body may have been trying to tell you all along. This isn't a story about fear, it's a story about attention. Because in this season of life, when the pace slows and the world grows quieter, what remains loudest are the signals from within, the slight stiffness in the morning, the bruises that linger longer than they should, the dull ache in the gut you chalk up to age, but which may be something more, something simpler, something solvable. Turmeric is not a miracle, but it is a gift. And like all gifts from nature, it needs space, it needs time, it needs respect. So ask yourself, are you giving your healing the room it needs to reach you? Are you listening not only to what is good, but to what is good for you, here, now, in this body, in this chapter? Let this be more than just another thing you heard and forgot. Let it be a turning point, a quiet shift, a new kind of awareness that softens your steps and strengthens your choices. Because what we often call wisdom is simply remembering to look again. And if something in this story stirred something in you, an old question, a forgotten instinct, a flicker of curiosity, don't let it fade. Follow it, Reflect on the rituals you've carried for years. Revisit the routines that feel automatic, not to discard them, but to honor them differently, with more understanding, with deeper care. You have earned the right to peace, to energy, to mornings that feel like beginnings, not burdens. And sometimes all it takes is a small change in how you combine the things you trust most. So take what you've learned today, not as a warning, but as an invitation, a door opening gently to the possibility that better isn't beyond your reach. It may simply be waiting on the other side of awareness. Thank you for walking this path with me. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, be curious, and above all, keep listening.